Get ready to hear the truth about America on a show that's not immune to the facts with your host, Dan Bongino.
One message to hold in your hearts today, it's this: never, ever give up.
FBI raid at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence.
Deadly force being authorized.
Nothing worth doing ever came easy.
Donald J. Trump has been indicted.
Jack Smith has again indicted former President Trump.
Over the course of your life, you will find that things are not always fair. You will find that things happen to you that you do not deserve. Like they said, take a look at what happened. But you have to put your head down and fight. Never, ever give up. The more people tell you it's not possible, that it can't be done, the more you should be absolutely determined to prove them wrong.
CNN projects that Donald Trump has been elected president.
Treat the word impossible as nothing more than motivation. Relish the opportunity to be an outsider, because it's the outsiders who change the world. 250 million Americans are not garbage. And it'll make a real and lasting difference. The more that a broken system tells you that you're wrong, the more certain you should be that you must keep pushing ahead. You must keep pushing forward.
I think that we just witnessed the greatest political comeback in the history of the United States of America.
So just remember that. Never stop fighting for what you believe in and for the people who care about you. America is beginning a new chapter. Our best days are yet to come. I can promise you that.
Folks, I'm sorry, there's no better way to open up the show on a day like today. This special time, 3 p.m. Eastern, we are live. I was looking at my watch. There you go. Make sure, because I said it, when you put it down, it's one of those things you got to keep going all the time in a winder, and I never do. It actually does say 3 o'clock. Welcome to the Dan Bongino Show, the day after the most important day in modern American history. I am so sorry about the delay. I wanted to play for you, though, Donald Trump's new video he put out, because the day after Inauguration Day, we will now call what? You remember from yesterday, the official name? What is it, folks? Put it in the chat. Who gets it first? Liberation Day. Who gets it? Who gets it? Liberation Day is the official name. There was no better way to start out than that. Mega, man, look at you guys. Man, I can't believe the show is this far delayed, and there's already 62,000 people here. Who said that was magnificent? P. Diggit, tens. Love you. Beautiful. Liberation Day. MT McGroin. Of course, it's one of the McGroins. Hey, guys. Love you all. The good news about today's show is I'm not in any rush, because obviously there's no radio show afterwards. I just did the radio show. Some of you may have listened. It was crazy. I did the show from the plane on the way back. Yes. Don't even ask me how it's a total debacle. I don't want to relitigate the whole story, because I got to tell you about the inauguration, important stuff. Major delays. I learned a lot about flying this morning, and apparently planes have a hard time flying in cold weather. I thought that was a car thing. I don't know. I'm not a pilot. Paula, thank you, Paula, for being the logistics queen. We were in like 7 states today trying to get home to do this show, because folks, I promise you, not to be like a virtue signaling asshole, but this is not about money or anything like that. I had to be here with you guys. It's not. We can move sponsors around to another day. It's not about any of that. If you guys, the Bongino Army, are going to rep the cause like you did and make us a top 10 show yesterday on the most important day in American history, I think we were number 8, then I'm not letting you down today. I had to be here because it means a lot to me. I got a loaded show for you today, a lot to talk about. Let's get right to it, including a recap of a very, very important meeting we had last night. Me and Chris Pavlovsky, the CEO of Rumble, where you're watching right now. The ultimate sleep refresh for the new year. Beam Stream Powder. Get up to 45% off for a limited time at shopbeam.com/Bongino. Use code Bongino at checkout. And show today brought to you by American Financing. The average person's finding it difficult to pay expenses every month, and in most cases, there's nothing left over to cover any extras. Most aren't getting a big raise. Expenses are up, and it's very hard to imagine to manage, without grabbing for your credit cards. If you're a homeowner and you're frustrated with that cycle, I need you to make a 10-minute, no-obligation call to my friends at American Financing. If you're constantly carrying a credit card balance each and every month with a rate in the 20s or even the 30s, American Financing can show you how to put your hard-earned equity to work and get you out of debt. The salary-based mortgage consultants are saving their customers an average of $800 a month. And if you get started today, you may not have to make next month's mortgage payment. How about that? There's no upfront fees, so it'll cost you nothing to find out how much you can save every month. Call American Financing today at 888-994-7660. That's 888-994-7660. Or visit AmericanFinancing.net. It's a .net address, AmericanFinancing.net, NMLS 123324, NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Fellas, let me hear that glorious sound, if you would. Yes, sir. So, I can't fake it. This is the same shirt I had on yesterday. You're such a slob. I may be a slob, but I'm not a liar, okay? I'm not going to fake it. Why? Because I went to the inauguration yesterday, huge update. I did my show from there, went to a couple of the gatherings, parties, galas. I don't know what you call them. I'm not like a foo-foo type guy. It doesn't really matter. People get together. Hey, let's have some food, whatever. You want pigs in a blanket? Have a beer, whatever it may be. But I was up there, and obviously at these events, I had to put a tie on, which frankly is about as unusual as Halley's Comet. It happens once every 72 years. I'm not even 72 yet. I don't wear ties ever. If you'd like to see the picture, it's slightly embarrassing. You're going to put it up on the screen. Of course, Justin's got to violate every rule of Dan Bunch. Put me up in a tie because he knows I bet you go ahead, wise ass. You go ahead and do it. Take it over, but it's okay. Justin, you may not see Justin again after this. So I ran into the Daily Wire crew. I'm kidding. We love Justin. That's the picture. It's Jeremy Boring, Ben Shapiro, and Chris Pavlovsky, who is a hero to free speech, the CEO of Rumble, who gives us this platform to speak on after YouTube scumbags banned us for saying masks don't work. You see, I have an actual black tie on. Someone on Twitter asks why I look 736 years old. The answer is, no, seriously. They actually said 736. If you look on X and put my last name in. It's because that was probably my 50th event of the day, and I had two more to go to, me and Chris. Chris is smiling. Ben looks pretty good. Jeremy, I don't know about me. I look like I was dying. That may be the last picture you ever see with me in a suit, but out of respect for President Trump on his inauguration, even a slob like me who dresses probably worse than John Fetterman is going to show up in a suit. However, this is the shirt I had. It's the only shirt I had with me, and for that I could wear in the show. And the other thing I had was a bunch of white T-shirts. So I'm not going to play the Fonz. Hey, so whatever. It's the same shirt. So unless these guys start running from the studio, we'll assume everything's okay. It was a long day yesterday, but some serious stuff happened. So I explained to you at the beginning of yesterday's podcast. Some of you made it. Some of you didn't. Some of you watching live coverage. We had a big crowd, though. Thank you. We finished number 8 in the live streaming wars, which, given everything going on, I was happy with. Bongino Army repping the cause. I went up because we got invited to a number of events. Some of them we had to say no to, but one in particular, a couple of people from Facebook were there, and they said they wanted to talk. Now, again, the understandable, especially with me, given what happened with me in my history of Facebook, bitterness towards the fact-checking, communist era there is definitely understandable, and we get it. But I'm not going to be a fraud, folks. I'm not going to tell you guys don't get emotional, and I'm going to get emotional. I need an outcome. The outcome I need is Trump, shamefully Biden, Trump, Vance. Okay, that's what I need. Or Trump Jr., Trump Jr. I need these platforms. I need our side to be heard. If they want to talk to me, I'm not going to turn it down. Some of you may object. That's cool, man. This isn't a tyranny. You don't have to believe everything I say because I say it, and you certainly don't have to believe every opinion I have. That's why they're opinions. I thought it was a good opportunity. So we went to the event. I'm just going to tell you straight, they couldn't have been nicer. They treated me and Chris very nicely. Doesn't matter. I don't get emotional either way. I still need an outcome, but treated us very nice. They really wanted to talk to Chris, which was a good thing. Because, Chris from Rumble, who had protected free speech when all these other companies bailed. I want you to remember, folks, just one thing, please, and don't ever forget this. The guy who platformed President Trump after he was deplatformed and said, "You're welcome here," was Chris at Rumble. And you can look that up. When he was banned from Facebook and everywhere else, there was one person who stood with him, and that was Chris. And we took a lot of flack for that. And we didn't care because it's the right thing to do. So we were there, and it was interesting that they wanted to talk to him. So you can see the picture. We spent some time with Zuckerberg. He spent about 10 minutes with us and started talking a little bit about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in the beginning, which I'm always fascinated with. But I made my case. So did Chris. He was very nice to us, and we'll see what happens. And one thing, at least I appreciated, is he said to us at the end, he said, I want you guys to watch the outcome, which it's almost like he must have, I doubt he listens to my show, but in other words, I want you to watch what happens. Don't listen to what I'm telling you. I think he understands that the ill will there is significant. But again, I'm not getting emotional. I'm not going to do it. If the outcome is bad, I can promise you they'll get filleted here on the show just like they did in the past. If the outcome is good, there's no applause line necessary. It speaks for itself. So I thought it was important to make the case, and you have my word. Listen to me, brothers and sisters. The case was made, and not just to one person there, but multiple people who are interested in hearing us out. So we'll see what happens. Outcomes matter. It's not about emotions either way. I'm not getting overly excited about anything. I'm not going to get down about anything. But it was an important night. I'm going to tell you this, too. At the event yesterday, the logistics were tough. If you were there and went up there, the crowds were pretty enormous. I don't care what Rachel Maddow tells you. Yeah, that's so much. They're talking about crowd size or something. Do we have it? Oh, we do. These guys are dealing with a rundown for the first time that I didn't do. Producer Jim was kind enough to put it together. They're already starting with the crowd size stuff. Can you play that? I'm sorry to go out of order in the show, but I'm going to give you the firsthand on-the-ground take of what really happened. Please do not fall prey to this bullshit liberal narrative that the crowds there were sparse. I was there on the ground. They're trying to rope the Trump team in to another debate about crowd sizes. I'm begging them, and I know, please don't fall for this. It's dumb. Nobody believes them, but here's dopey Russia Rachel with this crap again. Check this out.
Also, I should just note, a remarkable thing that we're seeing here is an empty Washington.
Yeah, it is. Aren't there hundreds of thousands of people there?
Yeah, I mean, you can see some people there on the side. It's sort of sparse. There are some Trump supporters who are there, but there are not very many people there at all.
Something in my eye. You see it? You see that, guys? On my eye? Yeah, you see it? Is it out? You guys on Apple and Spotify should probably listen at the 15-minute mark. Something in my eye. You better wait. Did you get it yet? Maybe this one. Still, if you're confused listening on AOD, Audio on Demand later, just check out the podcast show video. They're trying to bait the Trump team in, folks. This show is edutainment, right? Hopefully educational entertainment. I'm telling you, as a matter of strict political tactics, Rachel Maddow is evil, but not stupid. No, Dan, she's stupid. No, she's not. She's not stupid. If you think she's stupid, you're being played. She's actually very smart. Rachel Maddow is evil. There's a difference. Maddow knows exactly what she's doing. She knows they're very sensitive about this topic, as they should be, because the media lies about everything from crowd sizes to Russian collusion to Hamas, Israel, Middle East policy. They lie about everything. I'm just asking the Trump team as a friend. And you don't have to take my advice. What the hell do I know? I didn't run for president. Please don't get baited into this. I was there. You were there. The crowds were enormous. I want you to keep in mind all of these factors. And the place was still packed. I went into the hotel lobby. I stayed at the Marriott on Massachusetts. Very nice place, by the way. Highly recommended. Staff couldn't have been nicer. Washington, D.C., Democrat city. I'm just telling you my experience. Hotel couldn't have been nicer to us. I'm never going to lie to you. We went to the STK. We tried to get, the place was packed. Really nice place. It was packed. I walked in the lobby. I didn't know this, but you know Congressman Troy Nehls, amazing guy. I run into him. He's got a cowboy hat on. We're like, hey, what's up? There were, in the lobby alone, there had to be 500 people just in that hotel, right? It was like super selfie time. Like an hour later, I see Congressman Nehls again, but he comes up to me and goes, can we take a picture? And I'm like, bro, I'm thinking like, am I in a simulation? Turns out the congressman is a twin brother. I didn't even know. I'm not kidding. And I mean a twin brother. Like identical, even identical twins can look a little different later in life. You know, one guy breaks his arm. Twin brother. Freaked me out, bro. I didn't know that. This show is going to be freaking bananas today. Don't you dare go. You're not even allowed. Now bring your friends. 3 o'clock. You have no excuse not to be here. Everybody get in here right now because I'm too tired to be sane today. The place was packed. So factor that in. The crowd size was enormous. I was there all over the streets. Second, it was freezing. Folks, it was cold. And I'm not just saying that, and Justin and Guy's now like an official Floridian too. Justin's been here forever. I'm not saying it as a Floridian. It was cold. Like even producer Michael was a little bit cold. Not a lot because he's like an Eskimo. But even Michael acknowledged like it was chilly, okay? It was about 10 degrees at night with the wind chill. Paula had a beautiful dress on, the lovely Paula. She was dying. Paula is Colombian. She hates cold weather. She was dying. So it was cold. So it's cold. You've got the security nightmare, which it was. I told you there were legitimate threats on the thing. Anyone telling you otherwise, by the way, is lying. I'm not saying that's why they canceled these things. It may have been one of the small reasons. I'm not telling you it was the only one. I don't know what they told the Trump people or didn't. I'm just saying it was a security nightmare. The logistics were tough. If you were going to an inaugural ball last night, there is zero chance you were dropped off anywhere but like 5 or 6 blocks out. And these DC blocks, folks, are long, okay? So there were women in heels, in gowns, some of them with like what do you call them? Like with the shoulders out. I don't know what they're called. I'm not, whatever. The coldest inaugural. Was this one of the coldest? Yeah, it was up there, man. It was freezing. There were women who looked like they were in the mild stages of hypothermia. You had to walk around in heels. Then combine that with the fact that a lot of people who showed up just showed up to be in D.C. because the parade and the event on the mall was canceled. All of this and 100,000 people, I'm guessing or so, still showed up. And Rachel Maddow has the balls to say there was a crowd problem there. Folks, don't believe the nonsense. And please, do not get sucked into this. We have 2 years to fix the country. Trump has done more in 24 hours than a lot of Republican presidents did. I'm serious. In 8 years, we've got a lot more coming. Don't get distracted. I'm asking you as a friend. It's a stupid argument. And why did you spend a lot of time on it? Because this is the last time we're going to talk about it. That's why. And before I take a quick break, I want to thank everybody who showed up. Number one, all of the listeners I met to the show, the P1s out there came up and said hello. You guys and ladies were so nice. I hope I wasn't weird or awkward. You know, I'm like not social and not in the summer in my bag of donuts. So I was really trying to be more talkative and stuff. I hope it worked. So you tell me. But all the people there were in such a good mood. They were walking by the cops and the military guys. Thank you for your service. People giving each other fist bumps. It was amazing in a deep blue city to see this sea of red and everybody so excited to be there. It was really an experience. All right, I'm going to get to this Trump is back. The speech yesterday, a little snippet from it. I'm not going to play the whole thing. You heard most of it, but I'm going to show you the speech and I'm going to talk about the media characterization of the speech to show you again how the media battle plan from 2016 argue about crowd sizes. Call it the American Carnage speech. Call Trump and Elon Nazis. It's the exact same battle plan again, folks. The bad news, we're going to have to deal with it. The good news is nobody believes these clowns at all. Today's show brought to you by MyPatriotSupply.com. We've seen the headlines. Cyber attacks on the grid, drones in the skies, violent attacks on everyday Americans. Here's the ugly truth. No leader, no system can protect you from everything. Emergencies are still going to happen no matter what. And if you're waiting for the government to feed you in an emergency, you're going to starve to death. Sorry to break the bad news. Listen, food's the first casualty in an emergency. Everybody needs it, and what happens? They panic buy, and you're left with nothing. And your kids are like, Dad, where's the food? You don't want that. I make sure my family's prepared with a 4-week emergency supply kit for every member of my family from My Patriot Supply. They have 2,000 calories a day and 100% of daily value of 12 essential vitamins and minerals. It'll keep you strong when every meal matters. Plus, My Patriot Supply foods are packed in ultra-durable, heavy-duty pouches that can last up to 2.5 decades in storage. Right now, they're offering $50 off their 4-week emergency food kit, so go to MyPatriotSupply.com, grab yours for $50 off. Don't put it off. Now's the time to prepare. That's MyPatriotSupply.com to get your 4-week food kit today. MyPatriotSupply.com. Thank you, My Patriot Supply. Back to the show. I wanted to play, if we could, Donald Trump, the third video here, Trump creating a proud nation. This was just a snippet of the speech. Now, why am I playing this for you? Dan, we heard this yesterday. I know, I get it. This segment is not about the Trump speech. This segment is about the media, liberal, communist battle plan from 2016. That's failed because I believe we won 3 of the last 3 elections. You can say 2. You're never going to convince me we didn't win 2020. Fine, whatever. Even if we won 2 out of 3, we're still up to, we're still running a pretty high winning percentage, right? The same battle plan is going to apply now. They are not going to get away from the distractions, number one. The crowd size thing is meant to distract you. Please don't fall into it. And second, we're going to see the Nazi stuff, which we're already seeing with Elon. Elon's a Nazi, he made the Nazi salute. And third, they've repeated the exact same talking points they did in 2016 with his inaugural speech, saying this was a dark American carnage speech. Does this sound dark to you? Check this out.
Our sovereignty will be reclaimed. Our safety will be restored. The scales of justice will be rebalanced. The vicious, violent, and unfair weaponization of the Justice Department and our government will end. And our top priority will be to create a nation that is proud, prosperous, and free. America will soon be greater, stronger, and far more exceptional than ever before. I return to the presidency confident and optimistic that we are at the start of a thrilling new era of national success. A tide of change is sweeping the country. Sunlight is pouring over the entire world, and America has the chance to seize this opportunity like never before.
It was American carnage, a bloodbath everywhere. A dark doomsday, Dr. Doom, Magneto speech, one of the worst, darkest in American history.
8-8. 8-8.
Folks, if you're listening on Apple, you don't know what you're missing. Folks, did that sound... Oh, there we go. We got the Fugazis in there. The Fugazi crew is back. Did that sound like a carnage speech to you? We're not going to allow government to be weaponized against political opponents. This new freedom agenda is here. A proud nation. Don't fall for this. It's a psyop. It's a psyop. Everybody says everything is a psyop. No, this is a psyop. It is a media communist-based psychological operation to get you to believe that a president reorienting the country back in a positive direction, freedom, liberty, school choice, life, all of these wonderful things, is somehow creating a new American carnage agenda. Please don't fall for it. Our friend Eric Daughtry has his first Donald Trump presidential job approval poll. You can see now, folks, people aren't buying the bullshit. Here's the bullshit. Here's the people. Here's the bullshit. Here's the people. Notice there's no bridge between the bullshit and the people. It's not happening. First Donald J. Trump presidential job approval poll approval, 56%. Wow. Yeah, Biden. Justin wants to know what multiple that is of Biden's approval rating. Biden's was like a 7, so I'm not. It was bad. Disapproval 39% for a plus 17 net. Guys, that's a big deal. Let's just be candid. The polls, which suck, and I don't trust them at all, but they've never been particularly friendly to Donald Trump. The fact that he's up 17 in an approval poll probably means he's up, 25? So now we got to keep the momentum going. Listen to me when I talk to you, please. It's really important. Gosh, that sounded rude. It sounded like my dad. Listen to me when I talk to you. We got 2 years. No, we got 4. We don't have 4. Stop saying that. We have 2. You don't know what's going to happen in the midterms. You don't. We do not have 2 years. Donald Trump's team, I assure you, knows this. That's why you got the J6 pardons yesterday. That's why you got all these EOs. Every single day matters. Now it's up to Speaker Johnson to corral what can be a feisty Republican side of the House, and it's up to Senator Thune on the other side to get the Senate in line. There are rumors out there, by the way, and I'm strongly, I don't want to get off track, but it's related to the agenda moving forward, strongly recommending we throw the Bongino rule flag here, which is wait about 24 to 72 hours on a story, not before talking about it, but before drawing a conclusion about it. There are rumors out there Fetterman is going to join the Republican Party. This is a big hold. Braveheart hold, right? Hold. Everybody hold on that one. There is no sense in getting out ahead of it. Us even reporting on it, if he's thinking about it, it's going to cause a bunch of interest groups to lose their mind and try to squeeze him. So there's no sense in it. It's like reporting on a red wave before it happens. It doesn't make any sense, so just leave that. Here was a great clip from our friend Scott Jennings. Friend Dan, we don't even know him. Yeah, but he's been pretty good defending the cause. Again, I like outcomes. Him causing trouble for CNN is always a good outcome for me because if they're causing commies trouble, that sounds good to this guy. Here's Scott Jennings on CNN talking about the best part of yesterday's inaugural speech, which I 100% agree with, that the commies who tried to throw Trump in jail, steal his property, harass his family, rifle through his kids' drawers, his wife's underwear drawer, in an attempt to put this man in jail for political reasons, had to sit there yesterday like the fake, phony, look at me, losers you are. You had to sit there and listen to the entirety of the speech. It was glorious the entire time. And now listen to the CNN audience hear the exact same thing. Check this out.
I thought this was an incredible speech, honestly, and truly watching Donald Trump indict these gangsters to their faces while they had to sit right in front of him in that intimate setting in the rotunda for Republicans was remarkable. They had to sit there and take it just minutes after Biden, who we're looking at here, pardoned his entire family. I mean, it was glorious.
It was freaking glorious to watch. That was my favorite part. Now, listen, to be fair, Joe Biden didn't know what he was listening to anyway. Joe Biden thought he was listening to Barack Obama give a speech. He has no freaking idea, so forget Joe Biden. Joe Biden? No, he doesn't even know. He thought he was in confession. He thinks Donald Trump is Pastor, Johnny Apples or something, Johnny Appleseed. He had no freaking idea. But to watch Kamala Harris and Obama and Clinton, who all were part of this, what I believe politically criminal at a minimum, syndicate trying to take Donald Trump down, to watch them have to listen to this speech about what he's going to do to their agenda is just really one of the best moments I've seen in a long time, and it was worth all the effort. All right, and the other side of this, we got to talk about the pardons yesterday because, hold on, let me write this down. I'm going to give you the Wall Street Journal theory on the Biden pardons. If you missed it, he pardoned his family yesterday, well, most of his family. And he pardoned also people involved with the January 6th committee, those hacks. The Wall Street Journal has a theory on this, about how this may be a net benefit to Donald Trump. It's an interesting one. I'm not telling you I agree with it. I'm just telling you, you should hear it. So we got a full scope of what the ideas are out there about this and what could be the ramifications, all right? It also involves the J6 pardons, too. Let me get to our last set of sponsors today. We'll get back to the show. Hey, man, this is a pretty damn good crowd considering we did the show at a totally different time. Guy's a little disappointed, though. He thinks if we would have hit the normal 11 o'clock time, we may have hit 200 today. Maybe. I don't know, but I'm pretty honored you guys are here now for this, given that this was totally out of left field. I did not catch that. I didn't catch that. There he is again. He thinks he's in confession. He's like, is that my priest? Wait, did I have a female priest going on? He don't even know where he is. Dr. Jill in the background is thinking about her next neurosurgery, of course. Doug Emhoff's like, how do I kiss Dr. Jill again? Why are those two always kissing? Like, what is with those two weirdos, right? You ever see them? And they always kiss weird, like weird. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not even into that. Wrong. I know they know each other a little too well. Hey, increased tariffs on our trade partners, tax cuts, and regulation changes. Learn why gold is a viable diversification tactic now more than ever. Birch Gold, the only gold company I trust, is releasing its ultimate guide for gold in the Trump era with a foreword by Donald Trump Jr. To get your free copy along with Birch Gold's free information kit on gold, text my name, Dan, to the number 989898. Here are the facts. The national debt continues to increase. Our interest payments on the national debt continue to increase too. Gold is still one of your best hedges against a weakened dollar. And Birch Gold is still the company I trust to help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold. So text Dan to 989898 for your free copy of the ultimate guide for gold in the Trump era. There's no obligation, only information. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and thousands of happy customers, you too can trust Birch Gold. So text Dan to the number 989898 today. Message and data rates apply. And our last sponsor today, MyPillow. Listen, I used to wake up sore from head to toe because I had crappy pillows, which I hate. So now for the first time in years, I travel with these, by the way. I wake up feeling great because of MyPillow. Give you some great sleep. It'll change your life. You'll get a standard classic MyPillow for wholesale prices, only $14.88, but it gets better for a limited time. They're going to offer the entire classic collection at wholesale prices. Get queen-size MyPillows for just $18.88. Upgrade to a king for only $1 more. Get the body pillows for $29.88, multi-use My Pillows for only $9.88. They're so sure you'll be satisfied. They offer a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. All orders over $75 ship absolutely free. My Pillow is offering an amazing deal on their classic My Pillow collection. So go to mypillow.com, click on the radio podcast square, or call 1-800-637-4982. Go to mypillow.com, use promo code Dan, get these unbelievable offers. Once again, 1-800-637-4982, or go to mypillow.com, use promo code Dan. Don't lose another night of good sleep. So, the pardons happened yesterday. Obviously, you and I are really pissed off about it because Joe Biden, who claimed Donald Trump was going to be the one to break norms and protocols, has filleted every single one of them. Raiding a president's home, having Matthew Colangelo go to the Twinkies office in Manhattan and prosecute Donald Trump on a fake fraud trial. Judge Engo run people out of New York, being involved in a conviction of Donald Trump on another fake civil trial, trying to steal all his property. It's just disgusting what happened to him. What really kind of tipped the edge yesterday, though, was Joe Biden pardoning his inner circle of family members, Mark Milley, Anthony Fauci. We addressed it a little bit yesterday, and I told you I was going to dig into the weeds on this because there's a theory out there. I'm not just putting it out there. Do not kill the messenger. I don't want to get dead. It's the golden rule of the show. And after this adventure today, if I got dead after that, I'd be very upset. Okay, here's Chuck Schumer on preemptive pardons. In this case, though, he's talking about Donald Trump, and I want you to notice how he doesn't seem to care about the hypocrisy here at all. You play him this clip, he genuinely doesn't care. Check this out.
The president seems intent on filling each of his remaining days in office with petulance, grievance, self-interest. The president's reportedly asking his staff about whether he can issue. President's reportedly asking his staff whether he can issue preemptive pardons for himself, his family members, Rudy Giuliani. There's a simple answer: no. No, Mr. President, that would be a gross abuse of the presidential pardon authority.
I want you to understand, Chuck Schumer, because I know I'm going to get this. I know no matter how many times I try to say it. Chuck Schumer doesn't care. Folks, he doesn't care that he looks like a fraud or a hypocrite. I need you to tattoo this on the frontal lobe of the cerebral cortex. He doesn't care. Communists only care about power. If someone is sacrificed as some kind of sacrificial lamb, I always give the example of the communists in Cuba when they threw people up against the wall and shot them because they were, the bourgeois, whatever. Do you think they really cared when the family was like, hey, you just shot my son, yet you guys are living this really rich lifestyle? They were like, whatever, there's something in my eye. You get the point. They don't care. They care about power. However, because they care about hierarchy, they're on top, and we weren't at the time. Now that Joe Biden was on top in that hierarchical ladder of power, they, of course, are going to be. That's what they do. Abusers of power abuse power. This shouldn't surprise anybody. It's what Chuck Schumer does. I'm going to play another clip coming up in a second, but I'm going to throw this out there. Wall Street Journal folks who definitely lean center-right, if not even left on some issues, they have a theory out there that this could help Donald Trump in two ways. Folks, the January 6 pardons Donald Trump issued yesterday, which were pretty thorough, and I approve of at this point, some of those people were subjected to, without a doubt, cruel and unusual punishment, which, of course, is written directly into our founding documents. There is zero chance you can argue otherwise. So I obviously agree with these pardons. But I also agree with the statement they were making that these were going to be politically controversial. And there's no doubt about that. This gives squishy Republicans, and they're out there. I wish they weren't, but squishy Republicans are out there. You know it, and I do. Squishy Republicans do not want to be confronted outside of their office by Manu Raju or anyone else from CNN or MSNBC. How do you feel about the January 6 pardons? Because they don't want to have to answer questions in swing districts. You guys see in the chat what I'm getting at right now? If you're a P1 and you're really tactical, you know exactly where I'm going with this. It gives squishy Republicans a talking point. You don't have to answer the question at all. You may say, Dan, they should answer the question. I get what they should do. I'm telling you what they will do. They don't want to answer the question because they're squishy. and they're in squishy districts. Now they're just going to say, wait, are you okay with Joe Biden weaponizing the pardon tool to pardon his own inner circle of family members who, by the way, may potentially have been involved in illicit activities with Joe Biden himself? Are you okay with that? Mr. Congressman, we're talking about January 6th. No, that's not what I'm talking about. You're talking about the pardon power. You see what I'm getting at with this? Tactics, man, tactics. Oh, outcomes. That's all we care about. Don't get emotional. Oh my gosh, this guy should answer the question and defend me. He's not going to. They're in squishy districts. This gives them a talking point. The Journal's theory here, though, is that Biden, we should start calling him Biden, who pardoned his inner circle of family members. Now the political pressure, I'm not saying I agree with him, I'm just telling you what it is. The political pressure to go and prosecute Biden, which is going to take up a lot of time, kind of ebbs. I'm not telling you we shouldn't investigate him. I just said the opposite the other day. We should absolutely be investigating what happened. Absolutely. You're just not going to get a prosecution out of it. You're not. It's a plenary power. But to get the information out there, I think is vital of exactly what Biden did to sell the country out and his role in the Ukraine impeachment quid pro quo nonsense. Remember, it was Biden who wanted to make that go away. So we still need to investigate in the House and hopefully on the Senate side. But we're not going to get a prosecution. And there's really no political heat for Trump now to push for a DOJ full-blown investigation because you're not going to get a lot out of it. That's their theory. Ever see that movie? Was it Tommy Boy with Chris Farley? That's your, was that Tommy Boy? Hey, what do you call him, a fat guy? He's like, that's your theory. That's their theory. Whatevs. Here's a little compilation video by the great Maze Moore of course, the freak out over this exact same thing, the pardon issue, proving again that these people don't give a rat's ass about, looking like hypocrites at all. All they care about is hierarchy. Check this out.
Is that a thing? Preemptive blanket pardons? I mean, I haven't heard about this since like Monopoly with a get out of jail free card.
Trump has discussed with advisors whether to grant preemptive pardons. What does that say? That he wants to excuse them for things before anybody's even saying there's an investigation.
President Trump, as he winds down his last few weeks in office, is considering preemptive pardons. What a mess. More as we know.
Source saying that some of the president's inner circle, well, they're telling him that it would be perfectly fine to pardon his family and other associates preemptively, even though they haven't been charged with any crimes. How much damage could be done to this country can he do to this country on his way out?
Folks, the game plan is the exact same as 2016. They're going to argue on distractions. They're going to engage in unquestionably hypocritical arguments where they argued the exact opposite position in the past. So what do, Dan? We continue to plug away. What does plug away mean? We continue to go on social media like we did with the bloodbath hoax and everything else and just post the truth. I'm not here to give you a complicated answer so I can sound like some architect level political strategist. Oh, look what a genius, because the answers aren't complicated. Gaslighting, right? Getting people, specifically liberals, because they always believe things that aren't true, like masks work and vaccines will prevent you from getting COVID, which are both pretty much nonsense, right? The reason gaslighting works is because they isolate people from the truth. The reason gaslighting is no longer working and Trump's approval rating is so high is because you guys have done your job on Truth Social, YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter on getting out the truth about Donald Trump. It's how we beat back the bloodbath hoax and all that other stuff so fast. We defeated them so well. Remember the whipping hoax at the border? We exposed that. We all did that. You're going to see the same thing here. Just keep exposing it, that these people don't care about pardons on January 6th, folks, or the abuse of the pardon power, because the guy just pardoned his family members for crimes he may have been involved with. Folks, another thing that's going to happen again, you got that San Francisco scream, this kind of stupid and said, can we VO this? Because this is like, I don't want to expose you to this much stupidity without me being on the screen to mute some of it out and balance out. You got to have like smart content with stupid content. Here they are in San Francisco preparing for another scream. You're like, Dan, didn't they do that in 2016? Listen up, here it goes. You believe this shit? They're doing it again. You're like, is this the same screen? No, it may be the same screen people, but they're not doing anything different. That's the great, what's the other, you bang your head against the desk and everybody's like, that'll stop hurting when you stop doing it. Like boom, boom. They're not going to stop. Here's Daniel Dale from CNN, the fact-checking stuff. Now, again, in my conversations with Facebook, we're going to watch the outcome. I know some people, someone sent me a Facebook message the other day and said that the fact-checking was still going on their page, the fake fact-checking. So I haven't seen it on mine, but it may be some remnant. They're telling me that this thing is wrapped up and done with, so I want evidence. So if you're still getting fact-checked on your page and it's on an older thing, it may be something older if you're not logged in for a while, but I want to be sure because outcomes. One of the people at Facebook has asked specifically that if you're hearing these things from your audience about these episodes of fact-checking, to pass it on. And believe me, I plan on. If they're interested in feedback, then you're damn right we're going to give it to them. Having said that, the ridiculous media fact-checkers at CNN and elsewhere, who are not fact-checkers at all, they are no different than Rachel Maddow. They are poorly informed opinion hosts. You can expect them to get back on the stump now that Donald Trump is back in the office and fact-check every hanging participle in a sense. Here's Daniel Dale on CNN, another clown, by the way, but check this out. You're going to see more of this.
I know there's a lot of familiar lies that were just told, but bring us up to speed on what you think the biggest ones were.
There were a bunch, Jake. I thought it was interesting that the president gave a scripted inaugural address in which, honestly, there was not a ton to fact check. I'd say a smattering of falsehoods. And then immediately after, in this unscripted speech, he returned to his familiar lie-a-minute style. So he said the 2020 election was totally rigged. We know that's a lie. He said his opponents tried to rig it this time. That's more nonsense. He said California Democrats tried to cheat and that he thinks he would have won the state this time if it were not rigged. Well, it was a free and fair election in that state as well. He lost by more than 3 million votes. He claimed he won Alabama this time by 48 points, or like between 30 and 31. And then on immigration, he spoke of the jails of every country in the world being emptied into this country. He has never provided any evidence for his familiar claim that foreign countries are deliberately emptying prisons to send people here as migrants. He boasted of building 571 miles of border wall. Official statistics show it was actually 458 miles.
Okay. I'm not going to address all of the stupidity emanating from the soup cooler of that individual. However, the 2020 election was rigged, okay? Because having an opinion on what rigged means is different than you stating categorically as a fact, it was not rigged. Well, what do you mean by the word rigged? Are you talking about the first election in modern American history where mass mail-in balloting was used, untested? And I mean untested in that many of these localities had not seen this in a prior election. Not that they didn't test it at all, but in a system, the New York Times, a mail-in ballot system, had called out in a 2012 article by Adam Liptak that mail-in ballots were twice as prone to fraud and rejection rates. You can look up the article yourself. Liptak, New York Times, 2012, mail-in ballots. Go right now. You see it? I put it on the show 1,000 times. You can read it yourself. So the New York Times said a mass mail-in ballot election. And I'm not relitigating the past. I'm just trying to show you how stupid these people are. Trump said the 2020 election is not rigged. That's a lie. How do you know that? Because we said so? No, someone said it was a free and fair election. How do they know that? They've checked every ballot? That's an opinion. Talks about how they tried to rig this one. They didn't? Remember the Colorado Secretary of State? Was that Jenna Griswold? Anybody remember what she tried to do? She tried to kick Trump off the ballot, which I don't know about you folks, but I believe in the standard dictionary definition of the word rigged pretty much fits the definition of rigged myself. You see how Daniel Dale is giving an opinion there? And he portrays it as a factual matter? Okay, when you're right. The Alabama numbers are the Alabama numbers. If Trump got it wrong, he got it wrong. But don't tell me the election wasn't rigged because you think it wasn't rigged. There have been numerous lawsuits. There have not. There were standing issues. You're just making that up. Folks, the good news, however, keeps coming. The winning is here, and it feels damn good to be a part of it. Come on, man. I know Election Day felt good, but candidly, chat folks in the chat, I need this from you. Is the chat bro? No, the chat's not bro. Who does that? Pops 11? No, chat's fine. Maybe you just redo your phone. That's fine. I got to ask you, what felt better, election night or yesterday? Because I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to let you in a little secret. I was pretty confident Donald Trump was going to win. All right, anybody can say that after the fact. Dan, you sound like an asshole. No, there's a guy out there. I didn't talk about it much because I want to make sure people went out and voted. And talking about red waves and stuff is just counterproductive. I was pretty damn confident he was going to win. I had a lot of good inside sources from poll places I trusted that were like, this guy is going to smoke Kamala Harris. It's going to be, yes, I agree. Well, let me just answer. I think yesterday felt better too. It just did, because I thought election night was kind of a fait accompli. I told the guy at the Stewart Sandbar a week before the election. I told my friend Steve Adler, he's a doctor. I told his wife Gigi, she was all nervous about the election. Maybe I'll get her on the show. She can attest to it. I said, dude, done deal. I said, he's going to win it. I'm telling you, he's going to win. I just didn't want to say that because it doesn't make any sense. And I don't like talking about red wave stuff because it's stupid, right? And you're just going to dissuade people from voting. So tactically, I had to keep my feelings to myself. My job was to talk about facts and data, not talk about my opinions on that matter. So election night for me was kind of like a fait accompli. I knew he was going to win. Yesterday, I wasn't convinced that there wasn't going to be chaos in this period between the election. I think we won overwhelmingly, so they ran out of gas. But yesterday, man, felt really, really good. And the fact that Donald Trump not only hit the ground running, but had a team. I mean, when you say hit the ground running, obviously a cliche, but they mean it. Like, you don't hit the ground, you start walk, speed up, jog. They were, and because he already had a solid team in place that knows the mechanisms of government, that within moments of him swearing in, had EO's executive orders ready to rock and roll. You know that dreadful CBP One app? Here's Bill Malugin, a great reporter from Fox, especially on the immigration issue. Breaking, it's official. Trump admin has canceled the CBP One cell phone app parole program used by Biden to allow more than 900 migrants to enter the U.S. Existing appointments have been canceled. That is the notice on the CBP website. Term undocumented alien is used because, what's that? 900,000 migrants to enter the U.S. have been canceled. They should be canceled. We have an immigration process. There it is. There's a screenshot of what it looks like right now. It's called the immigration process. Now, what did I tell you before? The media sucks, folks. The media is going to use the 2016 playbook over again. It's up to you to flip them the double barrel and get the truth out there. What are they doing already? Look, we've got a mom waiting in Mexico who had this appointment who's crying. You know what? We've got a lot of veterans here who've got moms who are taking care of them because they were overseas and got their, they got some PTSD or lost limbs and stuff. They're crying too. What about them? We've got a lot of moms working the checkout counter in a supermarket, trying to feed their kids on one paycheck and struggling because of Joe Biden inflation. You know what? They're crying too. I noticed the scum in the media didn't do a lot of reporting on that because it would make the Democrat Party look bad. So you guys can go yourself, okay? I'm sorry. I love people. I'm a believer, a firm believer in my faith in Jesus Christ. I love mankind, but I also love rules. We have rules. You want to be an immigrant to this country? You could do the process. Guys, I know a little bit about the immigration process. You have any idea how I know that? Because Paula went through it. My wife is a legal immigrant to the country. So in case you're a lefty scumbag out there and you're going to say, what the hell you know about the immigration process? I don't know. We went through it. Paula was born in Columbia, not South Carolina, Columbia, the country, with two O's, C-O-L-O. She came here and went through the process. Dan, the process sucks. You are correct. It did suck. Totally. It is totally, completely inefficient. Like any government entity, it was run horribly. But we did it because it was the law. I don't disobey every law I don't like. I hate Obamacare. I got to listen to this stupid crap because I believe in a constitutional republic. I go out there and randomly just break laws. What, illegal immigrants get to do the same thing? Look at this Politico article here. Americans hate high prices. Mass deportations could spark new surges. Trump has vowed the mass deportations will be a day one priority, saying he has no choice but to deport anyone who's in the U.S. illegally. Notice how Politico all of a sudden cares about inflation now. Politico and the left, who generally speaking tried to take the edge off inflation because it reflected poorly on Joe Biden, now all of a sudden cares a ton about inflation. They're saying, oh my gosh, deportations could lead to more inflation. Folks, it's all a scam. Mass deportations could also lead to an enforceable borders. People realize they're not going to get a free pass into the country, And it can also help reinforce a sense of law and order and help legal, qualified immigrants who want to go through the process, who would like to work here and contribute to the country, have them be fortified in their beliefs that their process is going to be respected too, like my wife's. Whew. Man, that was crazy. I'm not done yet. Don't go anywhere because I don't have to be off the air like forever because you want to just hang out for a little bit? I mean, it was kind of weird because I always feel like I have to rush off the show. I have to go downstairs and I have to do get all the stuff off my face and get ready for the radio show. But I feel good today. And I'm not going to lie to you. I got a little tired a few minutes ago. It kind of hit me, everything we've been through over the last couple days. But man, I just feel like when Donald Trump called it Liberation Day, I couldn't think of the right term for it. Freedom Day, Emancipation Day, let the revolution begin. I just feel like this weight's been lifted. Can I talk to you guys for a few minutes? You can tune out if you want. I'm not going to cover any more hardcore politics stuff. Maybe I'll get into it more tomorrow, but can I just talk to you guys for a minute? If you want to chill, you can chill in the chat room. If not, you can scoot. I totally get it. You don't have to, there's no obligation to be here, but. So I'm in this airport this morning, and because we have to get back quickly, we have an account with this Jets company, and the plane didn't work out. Obviously, that's why we were so late. But in a really serendipitous moment, I believe in this burnt toast theory, right? That the toast is burned and you lose your mind and you miss your flight and then the plane crashes. The burnt toast was really like a favor and it wasn't a bad thing. In other words, behind every single piece of bad news, there's good news waiting if you just open your eyes and see it. I believe in that. So I meet this guy in the airport, and it's a really, really small airport in Gaithersburg, Maryland. Tiny. I mean, to call it an airport, it's like an FBO for those fixed base operator. It's like a one-room thing. We're sitting there, Paul and I, from, 6 in the morning till 10 o'clock, trying to figure out how to get back to do the show. And this guy comes in, and he's with his wife. Nice couple, 50s, 60s, I don't know. I didn't ask them their age, and I can tell they're obviously Republicans coming from the rally. And this is a really liberal part of Maryland, right? Hold on, I want to forget to tell you this other story either. And man, I start talking to this guy and his wife, and they are fascinating. And we got into this big conversation about Trump and how this black cloud feels like it's been lifted. And she was saying, the wife, how she couldn't believe how this all happened, and all the neighbors, when she used to post great things about Donald Trump, who would tell her, take that down. And she'd be like, I'm not doing it. I'm fighting for my guy. How now they're all like, go Trump. And she's like, you know what? They may be phonies. She's like, but okay, whatever. We'll take it. Outcomes, right? Outcomes. We can grab them and use them, and then grab them and use them. And I just thought this is probably the reason I was supposed to meet this guy. So Paula got the lady's number, and we're going to take them out to dinner. I guess they have a condo or something in Miami too, a condo down there. So we're going to take him out to dinner. I just thought it was pretty cool, meeting this guy. But showing you again the burnt toast theory. And please listen to this. I'm watching a video the other day, and it's by this life coach guy or something. I don't know. I saw it on TikTok. And the guy's talking about the burnt toast theory. And there's this old Chinese kind of just story from a proverb or whatever it is, or whatever they call them. And this guy, He loses his horse, so the neighbors come over. And they're like, hey, you lost your horse. That's really bad news. And you ever hear this? And the Chinese farmer's like, hey, man, good news, bad news. I don't know yet. So the next day, the horse comes back, and it brings 2 more horses with it. So the neighbors come over to the Chinese farmer, and they're like, hey, man, that's great news. Now you got 3 horses instead of 1. He says, good news, bad news. I don't know yet. So the next day, the son's trying to train one of the horses, and the son falls off the horse and breaks his back. So the neighbors come over and they go, man, your son broke his back on one of those horses. That's really bad news. He says, good news, bad news. I don't know yet. And then the Chinese army official in an unwinnable war knocks on his door the next week and says, hey, man, we're recruiting for the army. We need your son. He says, he can't go. He's got a broken back. I said, okay, we'll leave him. So the neighbors come over and go, man, that was good news. He says, good news, bad news. I don't know yet. That's the burnt toast theory for you. So today we did the show a little later. 153,000 people showed up. Now I know we can do this in the future, so I don't have to skip shows if I can make it. So was today me missing the show at 11 a.m. bad news? Good news, bad news? I don't know yet. Guess we'll find out. Folks, thanks for tuning in, man. Love you guys. You're the best. Please download the Rumble app. Help support Rumble. Chris Pavlovski's been a real hero for free speech. We got our word in yesterday. We'll see what happens with Facebook and otherwise. We've got an open channel there for a bit. Rumble.com/Bongino. If you want to watch on your computer, it's absolutely free. Please join us every day at 11 a.m. Special time today because we missed it. 11 a.m. Eastern time. Join the chat. It was so good to see you. Thank you for being patient with me. I can't believe you showed up in such large numbers. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow at the normal time, 11 a.m. back on the radio show. See you then.
You just heard the Dan Bongino Show.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
That I will faithfully execute.
That I will faithfully execute.
The office of President of the United States.
The office of President of the United States.
And will, to the best of my ability.
And will, to the best of my ability.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.